and I am here from the Manic Trout Facebook page for Facebook Live Friday. This is our 10th episode together, and I thought it would be kind of fun today to talk about summer jewelry. Now, of course, I believe in seasonal jewelry as I do release seasonal collections, but those of us that feel it is necessary to switch out our wardrobes come summer and winter, do you do the same thing with your jewelry? I mean, that's a really good question. Like, do you actually maybe subconsciously do it, or do you swap out the collection of your jewelry pieces to be the more wintry pieces in the front in the cooler months and the summery pieces in the front for the warmer months? That is what I want to talk about today. So I am coming at this from two perspectives. If you have known Manic Trout and me for a long time, you know that I lived in New York at the beginning of creating Manic Trout many years ago, and I now live in Texas. Very, very different approaches to how one dresses and the seasons, as we don't really have them in Texas. We like to pretend we have winter. We're all like, oh no, it's 60 degrees, we must put on down. But like in reality, you can, for the most part, except for a few chilly days in Austin, Dallas, it's a little different. But down here, you can pretty much wear the same clothes all year round. However, in New York, I mean, it's a whole different ball game. You are going from one extreme to the other, and there is the in-between as well. So I do not switch my clothing out as much down here. So I'm sure those of you from the South and from Texas and on the West Coast feel kind of the same way. You're like, there's no sense in switching out. I wear the same stuff all the time. But I still, and it may be from growing up in a colder climate, but I for sure change what colors I want to wear, what fabrics I want to wear, the amount of layers that I'll wear. And this influences how I actually wear jewelry. So I will preface this by, from a personal point of view, I design statement jewelry. So I'm going to say that I wear pretty big jewelry at all times. So I'm not necessarily saying that it is a style thing, but more of a color thing, or even a theme thing. So I've pulled a few pieces together so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. And I love color. Many of you do. If you are a fan of Manic Trout and you are a Troutie, a good chance is that you love color too. You may not wear it in your clothing. You may use it in your jewelry. You may not wear it in your jewelry. You use it in your clothing and wear neutral jewelry. But I have a feeling that most of you Trouties love color as well. So I tend to get more subdued in the winter and then go bright, 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 bright. The neons, as I'm showing right now, things like that in the summer months. And in the winter, I would maybe pair brighter things with darker necklaces, and in the summer, I will pair them with lighter necklaces. So I say right off the bat that for me, I am a jewelry designer, so I put maybe some more thought into my jewelry, and I do switch seasonally. So for me, I actually pull out more of my lighter pieces. For example, you know, things like this come out more for me in the summer. I feel like those pair with the colors that I'm pairing. Whereas in the winter, I don't know if you can see all the way up on that mannequin. No, you can't. But the winter, I would go more for like the darker tones like this. That's just a personal preference. I also, in the summer months, would go for like a brighter pink, like something like that. I see I kind of rearranged for you today. So I would start to, you know, I find that these things like these earrings are much more of a summer color scheme, shall we say, instead of winter, things like that. And I design that way a little bit. I design the more brightly neon hues, things like that in the summer, and those come out in those collections. So aside from colors, I also feel like there are certain materials in your jewelry that are a little bit more appropriate for, let's say, summer versus winter. So this necklace that I am wearing, like that, it's like curtains, kind of, is the Everything I Need necklace, the Ibiza, and it is white druzy. I feel that white druzy is a very summer stone and material. Something about it just makes you want to be tropical and beachy. And I actually feel like this lighter, delicate style of necklace goes a little bit better with the thinner, lighter materials. So if I were wearing like a big heavy sweater and I wore this layered over it, it might look disproportionate. And that's, you know, when I say like summer and winter in trends, it's not necessarily what like they say you should be wearing. It's more like when you are pairing certain fabrics or colors with other materials and colors that you want to make the proportions match. So it's similar to decorating. You know, you want to layer your wools and your tweeds and your corduroys with jewelry that will be as heavy kind of as that. It's not so much as a like, oh, you shouldn't wear white after Labor Day. I mean, that rule has died, things like that. It's more like, oh, if you're wearing a very substantial weight of something fabric-wise, you want your jewelry to go with that. That's why a lot of people do heavier chains and things like that in the winter. So if you are looking at your collection of jewelry and you're like, how do I, especially in the South, how do I make my pieces feel like I'm changing of a season? Like, what should I be focusing on now that Memorial Day is coming up this weekend and it's like I mean, it's even not summer according to the solstice, but it is, you know, the summery months. So you start thinking the brighter, the lighter. You can go with, I say you can go with the pieces that take up more skin because the cuts get a little bit lower usually in the summer, sundresses and things like that, tank tops. However, for those of us that are in the hot areas, it is the end of May right now and already in the high 90s. So by the time August rolls around and it's like 110, I don't want anything to touch my skin. So in the summer, in the hot months, I actually end up going with big earrings and a big bracelet instead of a big necklace. So for me, that's a very summer look, and I start to pull that out. Now, another interesting thing is besides the weight of materials and the color, there's also kind of a psychology around certain gems that are more summer appropriate. And the best example of that is turquoise. Turquoise, even though I love it year round, is a very popular summer stone, and coral also. And coral and turquoise are often paired together, especially in Native American designs with silver and those beautiful huge squash blossom designs. So that's a wonderful example of those pieces, and people gravitate towards those in the summer months. They look fantastic with linen and things like that. Again, see, that's you're matching your material of your fabric with your material of your jewelry. It's, you know, a lot of way to kind of gauge what you would be wearing. Now, speaking of linen and kind of that style, there are many women that prefer the tunic look in summer instead of like the sundress type thing. So it's not that they're showing, let's say, a different cut, but they are going with like a drapier to stay cooler. And I find that when things like that are worn, you do need to go with longer pieces. So I gravitate again to these longer, lighter, brighter pieces, or a great place to have, you know, a big chunky statement bracelet paired with, let's say, the most fabulous pair of earrings ever for summer, because what is our favorite thing of all of the summer things? Mermaids. So, you know, a big thing like that and some fabulous statement mermaid earrings are a great way also to show, you know, more of a summery side. You could wear your mermaid earrings year round, of course, but these just shine in the summer months. Which brings me to the other thing that is kind of seasonal in my mind anyway, and that is animal selection. I don't know about you guys, but I think of certain animals as summery, and usually those are the animals that are found in the ocean. So, you know, great examples of the summer animals, and again, you can of course wear all your animals year round, but I love the, you know, we have, here, I'm going to bring them up this way. We have seahorse and crabs. Of course, summery, no brainer. I mean, crabs are even in season in the summer. It's when you eat them. We have sharks and dolphins, also kind of no-brainers on the summer thing, right? Pineapples are year-round, but, you know, pineapples are very summery. If you see all the Pinterest things, there's pineapples and pools all the time. What is up with that? Why do people keep taking pictures of pineapples and pools? I did a puzzle of that. And we also have whales, of course. And alligators, which, Florida, I guess, summer. Alligators and starfish are also summery. So, you know, these all are the things that start to feel more summery in your wardrobe. For some bizarre reason, I always think of giraffes and leopards as winter. I don't know why. Maybe it's because you do more of the animal prints that comes out in the winter, but, you know, the obvious is that the summery animals are those in the ocean, because you go to the ocean. I feel like that logic that Monica had on Friends about when she makes the bed and the flowers go up near the top because that's where the sun rises, you know. I kind of am having that moment right now. So, you know, you have your animals, you have your materials, as in this case, gemstones and glass, and you have your weight of your jewelry. These are all things that kind of differentiate seasonally and make your pieces feel a bit summery. So, the biggest benefit of this way of thinking is that if you live in a climate where your clothing is not really, let's say, seasonal, but you bring a lot of it through, or if you live like in the colder climates that have a spring and fall, which I miss so much. So in the springtime, you're still kind of wearing some of your winter clothes because it's chilly in the morning and you're not ready to fully bring out like the lighter fabrics, but you want to look summery. You can start bringing more summery jewelry in, and that can kind of transition your wardrobe over as you get towards, you know, that way if you're still wearing like your winter cardigans, and it's a little late for tights, but if you're still wearing, you know, long sleeves and things like that, adding more summer jewelry will actually brighten those things up and help you feel, because there's nothing like reaching the end of winter and not wanting to put on that pair of boots one more time. You know, all you can think of is sundresses and cute, colorful little things and not wearing the sweaters that you've been wearing all winter. You are just ready for newness. So this way you can start to transition those pieces really easily. And for most of you, in your jewelry wardrobe, you have a lot of options that you can play with. So by first adjusting your accessories and your shoes, you can start to feel summery while still being warm. And then once summer hits and you're wearing all of them and continues on, that's again, you know, how you can transition through fall as well, as you can still have your summer pieces on and start to put on your like heavier jewelry. And you know, that's, I think of actually turquoise and like the big silver stuff as a late summer, early fall, and those are fantastic to transition at the end of summer back into fall. You know, like think about like the faded blue jean, white shirt, turquoise thing, which is way too hot where I live for summer, so that's why it starts to go that way. But you know, your first thought is, you know, that's crazy. Like, what is summer jewelry besides what people like design as summer jewelry? But you know, there are the colors, the motifs, the materials. These really do differentiate, just like clothing. It's just you can feel comfortable in them year round, so you don't think about it as much. So I sent out a newsletter about an hour ago. Are you guys all on the newsletter list? It's fabulous. I send them out a couple times a month, maybe weekly. You can, if you are on manictrout.com, there's a little place on the bottom where you can sign up. I also send out a little code. A little code went out today. So see, that's a wonderful incentive of signing up for the newsletter. I use it basically to pass on some information. Today's information was that I was going to be doing this Facebook Live Friday and talking about summer things. And I don't think I've talked about these outside of Facebook yet, but I'd like to talk more because every time I see people in person, they talk about it, and that's awesome. So I like doing them, and I want to talk about subjects that people like. So I promised I would answer specific questions, and now I have to check. I had to like make some notes. Yes, Robin, I love it. See, I have to remember to tell people or nobody will watch. So I have done a few things. One, I am ahead of time, kind of letting you know the subject so you can tune in. And two, I will be doing this on Fridays at 1 p.m. now. I'm setting the time because it's not fair to you to just say sometime on Friday. Or me, because then all day I'm kind of confused about it. So I'm going to check. I made some notes. So summer jewelry is a thing. We talked about that. We talked about what summer jewelry means, why it matters, but most importantly, how do I use summer jewelry to look my best self? Okay, so I want to talk about that for a second because that's kind of like my mission in life. It's to make you look like your best self, and it's to make you feel awesome in what you're wearing. And let me tell you, there are many days where I wear like almost the exact same thing because of my work position and things like that. And even when I put some kind of clothing on, if I have to go to a meeting or go out and do things, there are like 3 things that I do to look my best self. 1, I put on cute shoes because I love accessories and shoes are awesome. And 2, I put on lipstick, which not everybody is into, but for me, like it makes me feel like I'm on, like that I am like presenting. And 3, I make sure that I am wearing jewelry that, I mean, you know, who can fault me for this, but I enjoy when people tell me that I look nice. So when I have a piece of jewelry on and people are like, oh, I love your necklace, I'm like, oh, thank you, you know, and I am a big believer in complimenting women. I mean, I stop women all the time and I'm like, that's the cutest dress ever, because we need to tell each other that. It's very important. We all put effort into looking cute. We dress for women. It's important. But I think a big part of feeling cute and feeling kind of like you're, I mean, not even cute, but just feeling good about yourself that day is kind of to feel like you're not with it, but like that you want to feel like you are like, I got this, like I am feeling my best self. And a lot of ways of feeling your best self is kind of like, I am appropriately dressed for whatever I'm doing. If I am going to work that day, I am wearing something in the manner that I should be wearing to work. If I am going to a wedding, I am abiding by kind of the dress code that the bride would love me to be wearing so that everybody is happy, pictures look good, and I don't feel uncomfortable. I mean, we all want to feel comfortable and we all want to feel our best confident selves, you know? So I kind of like the idea of talking about like accessorizing and what works and what doesn't and things like that. So I'm trying it out. Let me know if you like it or not. That was a lot of what I kind of thought about today when I decided to talk about summer jewelry. Like, what's appropriate to wear in summer? What makes you feel like you are putting your best foot forward in a way? You know, fashion is fun. You should have fun with your style and all of that. But we all want to feel like we're doing, not following rules, but you know what I mean. We all want to feel like we're putting our best foot forward. So I hope talking about summer jewelry today kind of helped you see the jewelry in your collection in a new way, gave you some inspiration of how to mix things up in your closet and put together some new combinations, maybe make you transition into summer a little bit for those where it's not that hot yet, but give kind of old life to the clothes that you already have and the pieces that you already have. And of course, if you're ever looking for the jewelry that I showed you today, it's all available at manictrout.com. I am Sierra Bailey, the designer, maker, and everythinger here at Manic Trout. Oh, that is awesome. Thank you, Robin. I love to hear that. You know, that's one of I like to test the jewelry out when I wear it, and sometimes I'll wear a necklace and if nobody talks about it, I'm like, that does not make the collection. Because you want jewelry that looks good. You know, you don't want to wear something. If you love it, you hope that, you know, it's spreading joy everywhere. We're spreading joy, you guys. But that was a tangent. I am always available to chit chat. These videos go up and stay up on Facebook. So if you leave comments and I either don't have a chance to address them live, or you want to make a comment while you're watching this after it's live, I'll see it. We'll talk. Yay. I love to meet new trouties. But please follow along on the Manic Trout page that you can click to from this video. You can watch other videos by clicking on the video link on the Facebook page. And I am also on Instagram, but I've been failing so bad at it. It's bad. At Manic Trout. And as of course, the website is manictrout.com. I'm also trying to blog again in a different, that's coming. But I love to hear if you guys want to give me some input about things you want me to talk about in these videos. I do them every Friday at now 1 p.m. And I just enjoy connecting with you. You're why I do this. It is a holiday weekend, so I personally don't really take holidays, but have a fantastic weekend. Hopefully, it's really gray here in Austin. Hopefully it doesn't rain. I hope everybody gets at least a little bit of relaxation. Do what you want to do this weekend, and I will see you all next week. Thank you.